going to be presenting my Master of Architecture thesis project that was completed at the University of Michigan this past May. This image behind me became one of my inspirations, and to me it depicts sort of modern society's situation and disconnect with infrastructure. So, in 1909, explorer Robert Edwin Perry sent a telegraph to President William H. Taft announcing that the Stars and Stripes had been nailed to the North Pole and had offered to put the place at his disposal. Bewildered, Taft had replied, "Thanks for your interesting and generous offer. I don't exactly know what I could do with it." So some 70 years later, this is not the case. An $8 billion, 800-mile-long seam of infrastructure was put in place in the pristine wilderness of Alaska. This infrastructure was the Trans-Alaskan Pipeline. So the northern terminus is Deadhorse, and the southern is Valdez. Deadhorse, Alaska is located at 70 degrees north, parallel. It is the origin of the Trans-Alaskan Pipeline. Zones of habitation and operation are separated by a 48-inch mat of gravel. This separates structures from permafrost-laden soil. And it created an industrial palimpsest that travels across the landscape. Currently, Deadhorse has become a critical node of infrastructure. It is the Dalton Highway and the Trans-Alaskan Pipeline are the two umbilical cords that bring sustenance to the area, where the surrounding oil fields produce a $3.2 billion revenue stream each year. Currently, projected melting patterns show that ice in the ice cap will be gone and navigable seas year-round will exist in the year 2030. This last summer, ships have already started to go through there, so the Northwest Passage is staged as a critical expansion between the US and Canada for a new trade zone. Also lying dormant beneath the ice is 25% of the world's untapped oil and natural gas reserves. The only question is, this will be exploited, it'll be underwhelming and underlived. The only question is, how can we as a community have more social efficacy in this situation? Currently, this map shows the geopolitical infrastructure. Each country that has a vested interest and a physical edge on the Arctic has extended their boundary in the hatch pattern to have exclusive economic rights over that zone. The two zones in yellow are areas of conflict, and slowly they're being resolved. So that's sort of the situation and the beef, and now here's the beef. I'm proposing two infrastructural adaptations, one being an intermodal containerized shipping hub, and two being Deadhorse Port Authority or Intermodal Government Center. So Deadhorse, Alaska became, and the pipeline itself was a set of infrastructure that was very genuine in its original right, but not agile as an infrastructure. Its own destruction was designed into its system. So as the oil resources are tapped out and exploited on land, the industry will move to the ocean. So, just a second, sorry. So the Intermodal Government Center here is a partnership between a new UN Arctic Government Center will be hosted here, as well as a partnership with the Slavbod Arctic Seed Vault and the Alaskan Oil and Gas Research Unit. So this will be a way to foster research and provide for a new Arctic North. As a proving grounds for preservation, this amplification of research will create an influx of military personnel, workforce personnel, and a new sub-ecology, not unlike the Klondike Gold Rush. The ground level of this serves as an operated mat that concentrates material and energy flows. The majority of the construct lifts off the ground to separate it from the permafrost-laden soils. The lowest levels are habited by the military personnel. The Arctic supercomputer occupies the first level of the habitation core and is distributed to help heat the surfaces. Climate-controlled research pods create an interactive landscape to further sea diversity and can be enjoyed by researchers and neoliberal tourists alike. The construct is divided into two distinct parts. That neoliberal tourists, yes, they like eco-ecologies. So the two distinct parts, that of the left and the right, are separated as to keep the diversity of the program but not interact and interfere with each other. A center for the goods and the flows of the people coming in, and then also the habitation core. The construct of my project and the logistics of the pipeline helped me to conclude that the future of the Arctic is not one defined by liminal establishments of infrastructure and civility, but more crystallized nodes of concentrated flows of economy, materials, and people. My construct, or the project of my construct, serves as variegated manifold of these flows, people and capital. Moving another 100 years into the future, I see this construct as being a prosthetic amateur that is utilized in the name of expansion as a surrogate host for future developments. The hinterland, as it expands, is ordered in stages new occupations. These occupations are not yet written, they are not charted, they are evolving as we speak. The Arctic, unlike most industrial booms, does not need to fall victim to rapid expansion that is unchecked and undeveloped. I ask that you leave here tonight and become, as Rainer Banham often said, historians of the immediate future, and contemplate your role in gaining social efficacy for political territories like the Arctic that are founded on capital gain. Thank you. If you're more interested in some of this other stuff I have, visit that website.